Good morning, CDP. How you doing? It is a chilly 47 here in San Antonio. Good morning, everyone. Come on in. I hope you all are doing well. Top of the morning to you. All right, you all. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I hope everyone is having a great Friday morning. We are just about into the weekend. Thank God it's Friday. You can't beat that at all. It has been a really serious work week, so thank God, thank God. Um, so you all, nothing much is going on in the YouTube streets. Everything is wrapped around one person. And hey, Angelica, it's really interesting how Binary is trying to tell the story, but not tell the story. Talking about Lemon, but not quite talking about Lemon. It's really funny. But I want to go to something deeper. Uses. YouTube uses. And it's really interesting what YouTube does. And they do it on the high level as well as the low level. I usually watch a lot of videos concerning YouTube people who went viral or became um, very popular, and how their popularity started getting um, celebrities on their channels, but their channel changed. They don't even talk about things that make sense to their channels because of the popularity of the channels. Then people start taking over, and then they start doing things that they wouldn't usually do. And I find the same thing is the same with YouTube, even on the lower level. When we first started on YouTube, the beef sector, it was the Wild Wild West. But it's always like you got to top what you've done because that's what people want. They want you to top it. I want to get more numbers. I want to. So again, even on the lower level, people do that. And if you don't recognize it, if you don't really see it for what it is, then you'll be out on the limb. And don't get me wrong, I was there, but at a point you got to say, wait a minute, I have a career. I have XYZ. This is just for a show. Putting your real life into this is dangerous as well because I'm going to tell you, YouTube uses. They get their cut, they get their money. They don't give a damn what happens to you. Unfortunately, somebody was unalived in Las Vegas, but YouTube don't care long as they make their money. They don't care if you get doxxed. They don't care long as they're making their money. And it's always a way for them to get out. Perfect example, the Youssef situation. Until I talked to that lawyer, I didn't know that those sites could say, hey, we absolve ourselves of any wrongdoing because we did XYZ. They don't care. And the sad part about it is, people going to jail, people doing all of this stuff, all in the name of YouTube, all to make that dollar, but at what cost? Because YouTube doesn't care. And that's why I tell people there are no friends on YouTube. We are subcontractors. I'm here for my loot. I'm going to do whatever I need to do in a reasonable manner. Yes, I will talk about your stuff, But my stuff ain't up for discussion because, again, I don't put my stuff out here for discussion. Everybody got some stuff, but people use their stuff for content and it comes back to haunt them. So I'm going to tell y'all what, YouTube doesn't care at all. Don't care if you go to jail. Don't care if somebody swats your house. Don't care. And until you understand that, you'll continue to put stuff on air. Talking about, I want to be transparent. So I'm going to leave that right there. Now, you can be transparent when you don't have nothing to lose. You can be transparent when, you don't have nothing to lose but to go up. You so at the bottom that, but everybody's not like that. And this is why a lot of the OGs are not participating in all of this foolishness, because the OGs that I know, they're working. They are working. YouTube uses. And there's always pressure to do the most. That's why I stopped with the numbers game. That's why I stopped with all this. I don't care long as I get my money on the 21st, because again, you got to top those numbers. So what are you going to do next? And it's always, what can I do to top the next thing? Until you know it, you in jail because you doing something illegal. And YouTube don't care. And it's still going to move on. So I'm just being upfront and honest. Let me see what y'all saying this morning. Angelica said, Child Rico is pressed about that ring you got. Why is he pressed about a ring? Why is he pressed about a ring? That's stupid. Again, people are focused on the wrong thing. Why are you pressed about something that I have? Are y'all serious? I can't believe this. I done had this ring now for 2 weeks and we still talking about it? Are you serious? Why is he pressed over a ring? That's stupid. Okay, I gotta move, y'all, because this truck is dumping dirt. Ooh, all of this construction in Texas, baby, and the girls be dumping dirt. What's up, Jay Parrish? Let me see. Somebody said my cousin heads the minority division of Google in LA. I told him about the stuff going on and how, Google don't care. As long as you giving them money, they don't care. They don't care at all. Hey, people don't really care. Long as they're making their money, they don't care what happens to you. And again, we are subcontractors. Nobody is getting health insurance and benefits from Google. You're just getting that AdSense check. That's all. I do what I want to do. Now, if you got a problem, call the cops. This Mindy or Mindy or whatever, I don't, let me do this for you. Let me do this for you. All right. So, anyway, you all, if there's a child on, if there's a child walking or any buses on Interstate 35 going into 16040, and we got a problem. Moving right along. But you all, Google expects people to act a fool. Google expects people to do what they do. They expect people to do that. And this is why I don't really involve myself with the back and forth, going back with people anymore. And like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be in the sector. I don't even know how long I'll be on YouTube. And I'm not saying I'm leaving, but it's to the point where, you know, somebody's tragedy, somebody's cognitive ability, somebody's alcoholism is all we can really focus on. And that's really interesting when that's entertainment. And I just look at the people who are in the lead for the entertainment. And when you really look at what they do overall, it's a tragedy. And all they have is YouTube. And let me say this, YouTube don't fight to keep you on either, because they feel that it'll be somebody to take your place. So as much money as Lemon said he was making, YouTube don't care. Now I will say this: YouTube will send you a report to say that these are some ways that you can increase your money. Oh, YouTube will push you to increase your money. Oh, yes, they will. But I just look at it and keep it moving. Again, when you got other stuff to do, you come on when it's convenient. I was listening to YouTube cameras, and I'm with you, girl. Nobody don't got time to be going through 5 hours and 8 hours and 10 hours of junk, and then you may get a little nugget. No, no, ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. Nobody is doing that at all. And unfortunate, you all, Lemon is who Lemon is. And I don't know why people trying to change him. Until Lemon gets to the realization that he needs to change, he's not going to do anything. Until something tragic happens to him, nothing is going to change. He's still going to drink. Lemon talks about people and do everything, and he's a setup king or queen, or however you want to call it, because, again, he knows that to cause controversy, to cause shock, to make women or men or anybody feel something about themselves, then say something negative about it, because then people will be outraged. Lemon is using the system. The sad part about it is that it worked too good. People are not happy about what he said. They're attacking his channel, and they're preventing him from making the money that he should make. But I don't take it personally. You know I don't take it personally? Because Google AdSense, YouTube is using Lemon. And it's no different than those actors and actresses who will lay on the casting couch, who will do the rituals and all of that stuff to get fame and fortune. Some people would rather do it the right way, do it methodically, without compromise. Other people will sell their soul to the devil without even thinking about it. And this is why it's so easy. We look at people like Britney Spears and say, well, how could she do this? But when you're in the industry, and when people are saying, if you want to make it, if you want to be, this is what you got to do. I'm looking at America's Next Top Model and what those people did to make it. And the sad part about America's Next Top Model is only a few of those girls made it. And when they were saying that even the photos were just too campy, and it was like a bad mark on their resume to even have America's Next Top Model on there, because people didn't take it seriously. So what the deal was is Tyra Banks was just using those girls to promote her show. And the sad part about it, she was using her staff and taking them out. And then at the end, Tyra started acting stupid and doing stupid stuff, and the network dropped her. In the end, they're going to drop you eventually. In the end, you're going to be the one that's going to be gone. And that's how you got to look at it. RuPaul, at least RuPaul people get bookings. Now, I'm going to say, if you did it up in RuPaul's Drag Race, you got about a year or 2 years to get on that drag circuit and make your money. Okay? But even RuPaul, them people are paying. They got to make their own stuff. Because at the end of the day, the networks are not trying to invest in those types of shows. They make the people invest in the shows. So it's almost like a Barbizon modeling for drag on steroids. This is why a lot of people don't do RuPaul, because you gotta have your ducks already in the row before you get on that. So the same thing with YouTube. They use it. And the higher you get up in this joker, then they start making some decisions for you until your show don't even look like the same show that you started off with. Well, Itsy Bitsy, I'm not saying he is or isn't Itsy Bitsy. I'm not defending him at all. I'm not defending him at all. I'm just telling you how the system works. And I'm just saying how the B sector rewards people. Y'all like that train wreck over there. Instead of telling people, hey, maybe you need to stop drinking. Or maybe you need to get a job. Or maybe you too old to live with your mama. Or do you need counseling? Y'all love it. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. If that's what people want to do, I'm not mad at it at all. I just know how the game works. So again, everybody grown on here. But let me say this too. You all have a real big problem when folk call people out. You all have a problem with that. Even the Lolo situation. Lolo was there for the fish and the loaves. Baby, she wasn't there for the ministry. Lolo wasn't there for the ministry. Tracy wasn't there for the ministry. Because they kind of really figured out that this boy is toxic. And he'll throw you under the bus too, because it's really not about you and your feelings. It's about what he wants. You know, here go Lolo grieving over her mama, and then you want to use her mama as clicks and views? He don't care about your mama, Lolo. He don't care about you either. He just cares about you being on that panel so you can make him some money. And you all got a little kickback. And I don't blame him. And so now Lolo is saying what she needs to say. But this is the thing, Lolo. See, this is the thing. You were there for the money. So sometimes it's hard to leave, even though you know it's wrong, because you're there for the money. And again, it gets to the point where it's business. Let me give you a prime example. People knew that Whitney Houston was on drugs. They knew she was doing pills and on drugs. But she needs to go on that stage, because if she don't go on that stage, I don't get paid. I got bills to pay. So I know that she's suffering, but me helping her is me taking my job out. It's me not being able to pay my rent. Me having to look for a new job. So I know she's slurring, but as long as we can get through this show, I'll get paid. Child, that's what it's about. I tell y'all, ain't no friends on YouTube. It's no friends on YouTube. And this is why people like the train wreck Lemon. Because as long as Lemon's up here drinking and acting, we got commentary. We got commentary. And see, my thing is that I can get up here and talk about news all day long. Because I'm to the point now where it is what it is. But long as people are fighting and there's strife, we got commentary. That's why I keep on telling Rico, you can sit here and be pissed off. You getting upset makes people want to go on even more, because we know that it's penetrating and we gonna make a coin. Notice when people don't show up, we don't say nothing. But y'all come up here arguing and fighting. You cussing me out. I sit there and laugh because I'm like, baby, you real pressed. You give people commentary. It's just that simple. Nobody was even talking about Castro. But when Castro pops up and wanna, I almost said the explain and all of this, then people gonna come back. It's just that simple. Oh, let me tell you something. Just trying to figure it out. I know what's going on in the real world every day. For the mere fact that I work in a city, one of the largest cities in the country as far as land mass, and that my job is way on the other side of town. Baby, these gas prices are speaking to me. You hear me? And do you see how Donald Trump is releasing Russian oil? Do you see all of this stuff going on? Again, we don't want to hear about real world stuff. We don't care about all of these people getting dumped off their Medicare and Medicaid. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. We don't care that AI is taking out a lot of jobs. But we do need to care because eventually it's going to affect us. All of this stuff is going to affect us. And I'm telling you what, if nothing else, y'all better start voting. Y'all better use the power of the ballot. I kid you not. Okay, let me move on. But at the end of the day, you all, YouTube will make you do some stuff, and this is what we see. And if you don't have the capacity to think, let me say this, you all. King Roman ain't dumb. King Roman knows that, you know what? I can only go so far because at the end of the day, YouTube requires me to do even more outlandish stuff that in the end of the day can affect me adversely in life. So that's why you see these OGs. Well, the OGs, the B sector ain't like it used to be. No, it's never going to be like it used to be. Because again, if it was about just roasting and gagging, baby, the people would be here. But people who really got careers, people who really have something to lose, we're not going to sit here and do all of that foolishness. Absolutely not. We will leave it up to 2.0 to do it. It will never be the same. And I'm just being real about it. That's why people don't cam up anymore. Because people are afraid of the doxers. Because that's how people exert their power on YouTube. That's how the powerless exert their power. So you'll never get the OGs doing that crazy stuff. Because most of the OGs that I know are really working and doing quite well. Itsy bitsy. Oh, bro, look, itsy bitsy. Itsy bitsy. It's a time where let people have their opinion. Because again, Lemon wants that spotlight, and with that spotlight comes scrutiny. And let me say this: Lemon don't need no lobbyist. I'm just being real. And the sad part about it is it makes y'all look like enablers. And I'm not saying that Chris is right either. But he wants that spotlight. And y'all make him look like enablers. And it's like, are y'all serious? And I see you itsy bitsy, but you always going up in arms for this man, but this man don't give a shit about you. Or even how you think. And I'm just being real, he don't get 5 cents. And I'm not saying you shouldn't defend him, but just know the optics of it. I'm not anti or pro Lemon. I'm just, YouTube is using. And again, we don't know these people personally. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because it just seems like oh lemon, oh yeah. We know about Krista. We know that everybody that she done dated, something done happened to her. If it ain't, baby, we don't know her lesbian all the way, baby. She just, yeah, we know, but people ain't, they ain't seeing it for her like that. I don't know anything about that. Just trolling. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. I haven't spoken to that person, so I really can't answer to that. I really don't because I have not spoken to that person. So yeah, I don't know that. So, but yeah, people get upset with people because they may be cool with somebody, and that's weird as well. It's high school, and then that's what it is. But y'all, YouTube is using. I keep on saying that YouTube is using, and you have to know that this is YouTube. This ain't real life. This is a show. Wow. Just trying to figure it out. It's crazy. Arkansas is crazy. Okay. Well, it is what it is. I'm not in that. I really don't know. Um, like I said, lemon grown, Shelly grown. Yeah, I really, I've just been catching glimpses of things. And like I said to you all, I don't know how long. I really don't know how long. Um, I really don't. But when you look at it, it's like, yeah. But if people stop doxing and just read and roast and keep it on YouTube, you'll find that the entertainment will be much more entertaining. But when people start doing other things because they get really upset and they take it personally and then they want to do vendettas, then it just trashes the whole thing because people can't distinguish reality from a show. And this is what we get. That's the bottom line. And that's why the beef sector will never be the same. The beef sector will still be here, but it won't look the same. I used to fight with Boss Lady TV. All we did was look at each other's stuff and upload and have a response. People were doing skits. People were being very creative. And then all of a sudden, the element came that couldn't take the roast and the gags, couldn't take people laughing at them. And then all of a sudden, we went dark, and the beef sector was forever changed. And that's the real deal. People couldn't handle the roast or gags. They took it personally, and then they start doxing people and trying to hurt people because what somebody said verbally on a show made them feel some kind of way. And so this is what they wanted to do, to show them that you can't talk about me like that. That's all I'm gonna say. And people can like whoever they want to like. I don't really care. At the end of the day, the man is doing the show. If y'all sit there and watch it, it is what it is. I don't sit there and watch stuff that I don't like. That's why I can't really tell you a lot about what's going on Limit because I don't watch them unless there's something very particular. Now, even him going on VS's channel and getting handed his ass, I didn't even see that. It's just sad. I just, but it is what it is. It's busy though. I don't have to worry about it though. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can do it. But it's busy. What I'm telling you is, it really doesn't matter to me. All of this stuff that these people say, that's why I tell people, don't send me stuff that what people say. I can go find that on my own. Send me stuff that's going on in the beef sector, news that I can use. Because if people are crazy enough to put it up there, we're crazy enough to talk about it. But what people say about me, baby, I'm to the point where I don't even care. Never did. Never did. I don't know these people. We don't sit and eat breakfast together. We're not in a relationship. I don't see them on a day-to-day basis. So why get mad at folk who really don't know who you are and what you got going on in your real life? It's a show. It's a show. And if a show got you pressed, then that's it. When you bring in your real life on and people talking about it, whose fault is that? This is why I sit there and look at Tommy and laugh. Y'all done brought all y'all business out. You done called your daddy. Your daddy done read you. Done spilled some tea about how selfish you are not coming to his birthday party. And at the end of the day, you don't think people gonna talk about that? You getting drunk, falling out of a chair, and people not supposed to say nothing? Nobody don't tell you to hit that record button and record. Obviously, you want to be seen. So why get mad that people talk about it? And again, I'm wearing this sweater. Somebody gonna talk about the sweater. Somebody talking about my folded face. Baby, it don't make me any difference. Somebody like this folded face. Again, I'm not bothered by it. Or he got that old cubic zirconia costume jewelry on. Okay. Who cares? I don't know you. Long as I know what it is. Long as that GIA certificate card, and long as these chips and these gems in these stones, that's all I care about. And let me say this, you all. I'm not saying not to do what you want to do, but baby, y'all don't need to fight for me. Y'all don't do anything. Because again, y'all know these people. It's the same old. There is a method to the madness. These people will pull a beef out of nowhere because they want to fight. But I'm going to tell you what. When you stop giving people access to you, it makes a difference. And y'all keep on giving people access to you who done showed you over and over again who they are. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I tolerate it for a little bit because when I finally cut people, it is justified. It is justified. And let me say this, Itsy Bitsy, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not saying what but my thing is it's no need. Because it's a show. And at the end of the day, YouTube is using me, and I'm using YouTube right back. But one thing is, you don't have to put your whole life on here to have a good show. You don't have to be taking people to the doctor. You don't have to be taking people to your dog's death. You don't have to be taking people XYZ. Take people to where you want to take them. Baby, let people threaten me. Let them threaten me. I tell you, it's not going to end well. That's all I'm going to say. People should get enough. They should know what an orange jumpsuit is like and going to jail and being in court. But people don't get it. And again, when people got to do that, it's their weakness, not mine. And y'all think that's cool? Y'all think that's a flex? Because somebody does that, it just shows that you are weak You hurting. And again, I'm going to say this. God done healed you, got you into a doctor, and now you doing better, and this is what you do? Okay. Okay. I'm going to hold my peace, and y'all know the rest of it. Look, I don't have time to be living in fear for folk. I don't have time to be living in fear for folk. I don't. I don't. And don't talk to me like that. Well, why did you even bring it up? See, you messy. You will bring something up and then say that. You messy. I see you. I see your works. So why did you even bring it up? See, some of these subbies and these trolls, y'all need to see how they operate. They'll come in and say something because they really want the attention. But I'm going to call it out because you won't mess. Don't talk to me like that. That's the deal. You want the mess. So that's why you bring it up. Because you won't mess. So again, let me tell you what I'm going to do for you. Because I see you. I see you. Oh, Dre Day, I see it. I see it from a mile away. I see it from a mile away. And that's why I block them. Again, you all, I don't give people access to me like that. Stop giving folk access to you like that. It's just on the real. You can't continue to dox people and think that you're not going to pay for it. You can't continue to do this and think that it's not going to catch up with you. It may not be today. So I just think it's really interesting, you all. Just know that YouTube is using people. And my granddaddy said, if you ain't being used, you're useless. It's how you're being used. Be smart. Don't break the law. It's really funny because, people like, well, how your page stay? Because I'm not playing people's stuff. I'm not letting everybody on my panel. My banner stays up until I'm comfortable. I'm cognizant and focused on what I'm doing, not inebriated or have altered sense of state of being because I done took some mind altering substance. Baby, they love that courthouse. Anyway, people who don't have nothing to lose will cause you to lose everything. That's why people can do what they do. That's why people do what they do, you all. Thank God I don't have a police record. Thank God I'm not on drugs and alcohol. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but baby, it's about making the right decisions. And then when you look at it, how many people have you helped? I've had people to come back to me and say, hey, you know what? That information you gave me saved me money on my tires, or I went to school, or I've done this, or I've done this. Folk ain't helping nobody. And in the midst of your comedy, could you help somebody? Again, you all, I don't have to go dark because I'm not dark. I'm whimsical. I'm a comedian when I need to be. But I don't have to go dark and ugly. I don't have to talk about folks' deaths and stuff. I don't have to put my mouth on folk and talk about, this is going to happen. And I don't do that kind of stuff. That stuff comes back. I'm reminded of what Pharaoh did to the Hebrew children. And all of those plagues that he put upon them, he had to deal with. I'm very careful. Now, baby, will I throw some shade? Yes. But when it comes to this cursing and wishing death on people and no, we don't do that. No, nope. We have seen it play out time and time again. Somebody done spoke on somebody's dog, they dog dead. I'm like, look, and let me say this, y'all, I don't be praying for stuff like that. I don't pray for death. I told you I would ride and live with you. I ain't riding and dying with nobody. That's why we the rider lives. Because we ain't doing that death thing. We ain't doing that. So as much as that man talked about my dog, I ain't say nothing about his. And then the next thing you know, and it's tragic. And I don't even think it's funny. I think it's tragic. And the tragic part is because people were not doing what they needed to do on the front end, the dog had to suffer in the end. All of that fighting to get that dog back, and then 2 months later, the dog is no longer with us. And let's do a deep dive into that. Why do we think that's the case? Were you feeding the dog a healthy diet, a diet that the dog was supposed to have? Were you doing all the dog routine checkups? Were you making sure, did you make sure that the dog was getting his heart medicine, his flea and tick medicine? You know? But then you had a nerve to talk about other people who are really taking care of their animals, but then when yours died in, you want everybody to just stop everything because now you so love your animal. But my thing is, did you do what was right in the front end? And don't get me wrong, dogs gotta die. But did that dog have to die? Was that something that could have been prevented? Now, we may not like that, but that's a hard truth. And notice, I didn't have to put him down and call him out of his name, nor the dog. It's not the dog's fault. But you were saying, I got my dog back, but yet you struggling. You got your dog back, but you're not taking care of the dog properly so the dog could get the correct care, preventative care. And that's the sad part about it. You were so concerned about my ring, but my thing is you working to stay in your place. And I'm not mad at that. And I'm not mad at you working to stay in your place. But again, you know, it's projection. It's always the projection. Always somebody got something to say about somebody else, but it's really projection. Yeah, don't get a dog unless you can take care of the dog. Don't get an animal unless you can maintain the health of the animal. A dog got to get shots every year. They got to take their Simparica Trio or whatever you use for heartworms every month. And my thing is this, you all, stop wasting your money on people who ain't going to invest it right. I'm being real with it. I mean, because people always have a crisis. Notice, see, again, people get mad at me because people give me money or people buy things for me, but they know it's a good investment because y'all ain't never hear me crying that my lights was getting ready to be turned off. Y'all ain't never hear me begging for mortgage money or car payment money. Never. You ain't never heard no content creator come back and say, "Ooh, Jay was sneak tip asking me for money in the Cash App, baby." Because if I did, baby, it would be out already. But it seems like people who always in need never do right with your money, baby. If I say I'm gonna get a printer, I'm gonna get a printer. Did I need that printer? No. I was happy going to the library, but I guess the people said we want to give you a printer, and I just used that paper shredder today. Oh, baby, I'm getting a joy out of that paper shredder. So I don't use a credit card at McDonald's that I done canceled. So I shred it now. Hallelujah. Won't he do it? Won't he will? He sure will. He'll do it. Yes, he will. So again, but did I need it? No. But did the people think I should have it? Yes. Did people get mad? Yes. Do I care? No. Because again, people know that I'm grateful for it and I'm going to use it. And I'm going to get it. I'm not going to sit there and lie about it. How people going to give you money and you buying pizza, Fanta sodas, and some cigarettes? Okay, how people going to give you money on a trip you don't even go to, and then you telling people to kiss your ass after they done gave you their money? Girl, that's totally disrespectful. And that's why y'all hoes can't thrive. Because y'all play people as stupid. And people ain't stupid. Them people hard earn money. People hard earn money. And then y'all want to play people stupid. And then you get mad at me because people will give me money, but I don't play people stupid. Let me tell y'all something. I learned something in the church. If you say you're going to build a fellowship hall, bricks, wood, and metal better be purchased. Period. It's a busy say Rico and Wobbly out on the panel cussing, saying you jealous of Rico. Why would I be jealous of Rico? Why would I be jealous of Rico? Why would I be jealous? I'm just asking. Because y'all really believe that shit? Okay. Did you hear about the immigrant man who reported when? Just trying to figure it out. We talked about that. That happened in Norfolk, Virginia at Old Dominion University, which is about less than 20 minutes away from my alma mater. And what was scary about it is he did go after ROTC. I don't know if it was race motivated because my institution has one of the largest ROTCs, and I'm just grateful that he didn't step on our campus. I'm grateful that his students took him out before he got anybody else. Unfortunately, the instructor had to lose his life because of that. I asked them, jealous of poor? Well, it's more than jealous of poor. I'm not jealous of people who make bad decisions. I'm not jealous of people who have to use YouTube as this. And then I look at that other individual. You want to go viral so badly that you will go into a public library, knock down bookshelves just to get attention. Then you will go to an airport and start touching people's bags. Then you'll go to a Walmart and claim that you have a device of mass destruction. Jealous of what again? You got a person who is so lonely and so needy that he would allow somebody to use him for a place to stay, disrespect him by going out with another man, and let him back in his house or his Airbnb that he paid for because he's that starved for love. Jealous of what again? Jealous of who again? Why would I be jealous of somebody who was climbing through a window, paying rent, but climbing through a window? Why would I be jealous of someone who is so impoverished that another content creator had to store his items because he didn't have no money? Why would I be jealous of someone who goes to a veterinarian without any money, who don't listen? The lady was saying, we can't hold this dog, but yet you telling them you get paid on Wednesday. Why would I be jealous of that? I am sorry that that person had to go through that. It's more of I have empathy, because somewhere along the way, somebody didn't get that memo to him that if you don't work, you don't eat. Karma Beef Sector, both of them have trauma, childhood trauma. And everybody wants to think that folk are jealous. Nobody is jealous of that. And let me say this, you all. There are people in the beef sector who have far more resources than I have, but I celebrate them. I'm not jealous of them. I love to hear people's come up stories. Nobody is jealous of anyone, because when you are secure in who you are, you don't have to be jealous of people. You jealous of their relationship? What relationship? You don't have a relationship. You have sexual encounters. Hell, anybody can have sexual encounters. That's not hard. The hard thing is to be able to be in a relationship and work things out. And we see a lot of our gay men, not all of them, but a lot of our gay men, they're single. They are so sexy. They got the best jaw. They got the best throat. They got the best cakes, but yet they still single and alone. I'm old. They say I got wrinkled skin, but I have a relationship. Karma B, let me tell you something. I'm not wealthy, but I'm going to work for what I want. It's not about flaunting wealth. It's about working hard so you can get what you want. And I'm not mad at anybody who works to get what. So Bree is having a party. Folk talking about something. Why is she paying for it? Because she can. And if she work for it, you ain't taking none of this when you leave. None of this is going with you. Everybody who went to meet Jesus with gold and rings on, baby. You know them grave diggers done took all of that jewelry. Baby, they ain't letting that jewelry go to the ground. You ain't taking nothing with you. Yeah, Liberian girl. But you ain't taking none of that with you. And people trying to diminish Brianna's accomplishments. You can't. Whether she 55, whether she 5,500 pounds, it doesn't take away because she finished her school. Her weight ain't have nothing to do with her intellect. And she completed it. She did it. And the ones who talking about it ain't do nothing. And if you so smart, then why don't you do it? Then demons, oh, they trying to diminish her. Well, she did it. Why don't you do it? But yet we will celebrate a dog dying because somebody didn't do the right thing. We will celebrate somebody falling out of a chair. We celebrate alcoholism. We celebrate people getting hit by a car and begging for electric scooters. I mean, we do all that, pickle juice and waffles. Baby! But we don't want to celebrate people when they're doing really well. Because I guess it makes us feel some kind of way. For those people who have not done what they needed to do. And you can tell people who really had dreams, but they didn't step out on their dreams because they get mad at other people. But people who are securing themselves, they celebrate people. When people want to diminish your shit, baby, they got issues. Why am I going to diminish that woman's education? Now, I will play with binary, but regardless, if binary had to do a dissertation, and if binary had to defend that dissertation in front of a committee, I don't care if binary went to Mother Goose University. If Mother Goose University is regionally accredited, then that's all that counts. Period. And Liberian girl, that's a big thing. And it tells me a lot. Let me say this to you all. That says a lot when you have been raised in a family that has not accomplished that. And not to say that it's a bad thing. Let me tell y'all something. My mama and daddy had to work the fields in rural Georgia. They had to help their family. But one thing they said is our children don't get an education. And see, I'm not even knocking her family for not having a college degree. Because a lot of people in my family didn't have a college degree. Some of the wisest people in the world. But I'm going to tell you what, my mom, my dad, the neighborhood knew that in order for our kids to get ahead, they had to have an education. They used to say, everybody else can do this, but you can't do this because the scales are not balanced. And you don't want nobody to deny you. I'm just being real. So even if her family didn't go to college, it's a big deal because that's even more reason to applaud her. Let me tell you something. Bree ain't from St. Petersburg. Bree moved to St. Petersburg, honey, but Bree is from North Florida. Bree is from North Florida. And let me tell you about North Florida. Let me tell you about North Florida. North Florida is the most southernest part of Florida. North Florida is Alabama and Georgia, pretty much. And when I tell you it's racism, prisons is extremely racist. Florida is racist overall. But baby, North Florida ain't nothing to play with. Do you hear me? Bree was raised close to Gainesville, the horse capital of Florida. Y'all don't understand that the only death in the NAACP was in Florida. And they killed Harry T. Moore. The Groveland clan, the KKK, which is close to Orlando, went to Brevard County, put devices under Harry T. Moore and Harriet's Moore house on Christmas Eve. Thank God the daughter was gone. And terrorized the house. He died instantly. She died 3 or 5 days later. Let me tell you why I got a problem with the NAACP. They threw him under the bus. They fired him because he was too radical. They fired him because he was not going along to get along. He was being vocal about what was going on. Then, so the Klan thought he was still the president of the NAACP while they fired him. Then in death, they want to take up his cause. They're using his name for everything, but yet they fired him. Oh, come on. That's what people will do. That's what people will do. So all I'm saying is, for the mere fact that she got her degree, so anyway, y'all, we can celebrate mediocrity. We can celebrate poverty. We can celebrate living on the system. But when somebody is trying to do something, you know, we got a problem. We hate on their education. We hate on where they live. Now, if I was living in a halfway house, baby, y'all be tearing that house back. And then the thing is, you just live in an old regular house. That's it. That's all I wanted was an old regular house. But it's good enough for me. And as long as I can get some resale value out of it, that's all that really matters to me. And let me tell y'all about my ordinary house. My foundation is firm. No cracks in the foundation. The house is still standing. Yes, Lord. I didn't go with a big old major builder. I went with a moderate builder. Yeah. I ain't never hating on nobody's accomplishments. Never. Even when drunk Tommy got a job, I was happy that Tommy got a job. I was so happy that Tommy got a job. And then when Tommy started doing bad, I'm like, oh, there we go. You self-sabotaging. And I guess some people feel like they don't never deserve nothing good, or they think that the good ain't gonna last long, so they self-sabotage. Even in these relationships, they be in good relationships, but they gotta find a way to self-sabotage it because they think the other person gonna leave, or they think that they gonna do something wrong. Again, it's self-sabotage. Okay, Bowie State, HBCU, Bowie State. Yeah, that's what we see. That's why these relationships ain't worth shit, because they self-sabotage. Well, look, y'all, I gotta go. I'm sure some mess gonna happen, but we'll talk to you later. I want to thank y'all for coming on. Peace and love. Bye.